Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to find out how God, our higher self, and our spirit guides want to help us get over fear. And while I was shuffling, this card came out. I will let go of how I think today should go and accept how imperfectly it happens. Also, guidance and justice came out while I was shuffling. So I'm going to get a card from this deck. The Star. And how I read this deck is I go into it and see what message it has for me. So something about these 2 points stuck out to me, and I was seeing this spinning like a fan, which makes me think of our chakras. And it was like I was like very small, standing in front of this giant fan, and it like blew me back and sat me down. So maybe in order to overcome our fears, we need to sit down, be patient, find like a grounding, like a touchstone or something, like a little stone that you keep in your pocket that every time you feel worried, you touch it and it kind of brings you back to reality. So, let's see what else comes out. Oh. Contrast, differing views are present, conflict, working together is difficult, contradiction, insincerity hurts reputations. And play, enjoy the fun of life, sound, simple vibrational healing, harmony, alignment with purpose. So, when we're sitting down, when we're being sat down by God to ground us, when we're feeling fearful or worried, how to overcome our fears. Maybe these are our fears: differing views, conflict, insincerity, maybe this is what we are fearful of just like feeling excluded, feeling outcasted, feeling like people don't understand us, feeling like we can't work together with people. And like this, it's like noticeable to me that this is at the bottom and then this is at the top. So maybe this is what we need to do in order to overcome those fears: play, enjoy the fun of life, sound, vibrational healing, harmony, alignment with purpose. So it's like when we're feeling the contrast of what we don't want, we need to remember to play, to find some type of vibrational healing, whether that's a sound bowl or a song that we like, or a meditative, putting on meditation music and getting into a different state of mind, or even humming. When you hum or when you sing, it's changing the vibrational state of your body, and it's realigning you with a higher vibration that, of singing. So what other messages do you have for us? God, spirit guides, higher self, give us a message of how to overcome our fears of contrast and conflict and contradiction, maybe using sound, play, harmony. Knight of Pentacles. So, the slowest moving card in the deck. The Knight of Pentacles is bringing in stable energy, and I'm like noticing these things in the background. So maybe a way to overcome your fears is like to train your brain to look around, find something in the distance to focus on, and count it. You know, there's sheep back here, so counting sheep, or maybe like reimagining it, because I'm not sure like what these are back here, like silos of some sort, or like a chicken coop, or, you know, it's like it could be anything, because it's like I'm not really sure what those are. So it's like maybe just focusing on something and imagining what it could be to like take your mind out of the fear. Because sometimes, you know, we're not always like, when we are experiencing a fearful or worried state, we're not always able to like go get a guitar and play it. You know, it's not always like, you know, rarely are we in our house with all of our things feeling fear. It's like typically it's like when we're in surrounded by other people in a formal setting, or, you know what I mean, like at a job, or trapped in a car, or, you know, we're somewhere where we can't really we don't have all of the tools available, so we have to only use our mind. We have to slow down and bring ourselves a gift of noticing something and reimagining it, or seeing something and counting it, and just like bringing our brain back to reality, grounding it into the earth energy. Let's see, is there any other messages about what to do when you feel fearful? Two of Wands. And it came out in reverse, but I like wanted to flip it around, so I'm just going to take it straight up. The Two of Wands is being on the precipice of a new journey, but not exactly knowing which way you're going. So, and he looks pretty fearful in this card. I don't know. And I'm going to say that back here is like the Hierophant. So which is like a spiritual leader, but it looks like he's in the, you know, he's masked in the darkness, and this guy looks fearful of maybe having to go in there, or this deck is Mythic Tarot, so it's like Greek mythology, and I think it's telling us that, you know, when we are fearful, what we're fearful of is actually not a bad thing. Like, we're going to learn something from it, because the Hierophant is like the religious teacher, the prophet. So he's scared to go into this cave, but little does he know what's waiting for him is evolution is the first word that's coming to me, but I feel like it's like evolution of our spirit, of our, like, our growth. We are, by going into these spheres and, not necessarily like pretending they're not happening. That's of course good advice when it's like overwhelming fear in the moment, but like by going into these spheres, we are growing, we are learning more about ourselves, and we are on the precipice of a new life, a new journey, it's like, yes, it's scary, but at the same time, it's going to grow you. So maybe trying to find the growth aspect in whatever we're fearful of. Like, how does facing this fear grow me, like changing our mind state about it instead of just like sitting in fear. God, give us a message of the light. What's the message of the light that we need? Give us a message of the light. Creation. And my mind, like my eyes are drawn to like there's like all this. Obviously, she's like sitting in water, and there's like all this water here, but there's like one drop of water right here. So it's like, it's just making me think of like, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop. So it's like everything is you. Everything in the whole universe is also in you. Because you're in the universe, like, there's the cosmos, and then there's our soul, and it's one and the same. It's like the cosmos is the macrocosm, and our soul is the microcosm. It's an exact replication, but just at a very smaller, more dense point. If you have like the pencil lead, and then you draw a dot with the pencil, it's like everything that is that lead is also in that dot that you just drew with the pencil. So just maybe overcoming our fears by remembering that we are part of God energy. We have nothing to be afraid of because we are the creators of this reality. Our fears are here to show us contrast, just like Esther Hicks talks about. It's like, without contrast, you don't know your divine path. Like, you only know what you do want by knowing what you don't want. And so that's why the universe shows you what you don't want, what you don't like, what you want to resist, because then your soul knows which direction you do want to go in. Oh, I don't like this, or I don't like this feeling, I don't want this. So that must mean I do really want this, and pay attention to that contrast. When you're fearful, it's like, what are you fearing? And what's the opposite of it? And how can you take action on going towards the opposite thing? And then let me just read that creation card really fast. It says, as above, so below. The world we hold in the focus of the mind is the world we will inhabit. Become conscious of what you are envisioning. Yeah, so it's like like, just like what I was saying, like, you are the creator. Obviously, it's the creation card, but just like God created everything, we are creating everything in our reality. Like, we are, obviously, there's a higher power, but, like, we are the God of our own reality. And so, if we want something to be different, we have to change it. If we want a different viewpoint, we need to change our perspective. You know, if we want to be in a different place, we must move our body. So just remember that you are the creator, and you get to change the creation at your will. And you can do that by vibrational healing, alignment, have fun, you know, like, instead of being fearful, have fun with it. Just know that, like, you know, they talk about how everything's a simulation, and yes, but, like, to a degree that we can't really comprehend. Like, we comprehend a simulation, and it's like, that's like a very, like, earthly 3D form of being in a simulation, like what we picture in our head, but it's like that, but it's at a completely different, like, unimaginable, because we can't leave this dimension, so it's like our brains really can't comprehend it, you know, but pretend that it is a simulation, and, like, even if you don't understand how it works, like, just know that, like, it works, you know, like, just try to change it through like, and this is the keys of changing the simulation, is, like, having fun, changing your vibrational output and aligning with something different. I was just saying this in, like, the previous reading, where it's like, if you are in a fearful state, reach for one vibrational state higher than fear, which would just be, like, acceptance, you know? You don't have to enter the vibrational state of, like, pure bliss. You just have to, like, acknowledge that, like, okay, I am fearful. What can I do about it? You know, or can I just sit with it? Can I just sit with that fear and hold it and picture it as a little baby? Like, you know, you can picture the word fear wrapped in a blanket, and you just, like, hold it, and you just sit with it for a minute and know that, like, it's something outside of you. It's not, you don't have to take it on as a part of you. You can just, like, see it for what it is and hold it. Okay, so are there any other messages? For some reason I want to pull one of these. So this is, like, my crystal deck, which I never really use, but let's see what it's got to say to us. So Spirit, God, higher self is very crystal that will help us overcome our fears and change our mindset. Topaz, calming and creativity. Says, topaz is generally associated with yellow, from amber to honey to the shade of straw. Topaz is associated with the astrological sign of Sagittarius, the month of November, the planet Mars, especially lucky when worn on a Sunday. Topaz takes its name from either the Greek topazios, which means to seek, or the Sanskrit tapas, meaning heat or fire. In the Middle Ages, it was believed that the moon directly influenced the stone. As the moon waxed, topaz power for good increased. It could function as both a sedative and a stimulant, according to the lunar phase. Topaz is a stone of influence and energy, aiding in creative endeavors of all kind and helping to manifest goals. In its more passive aspect, it's a centering and grounding stone, ideal for relaxation, meditation, and commitment. So maybe we need to get topaz in our life, and honestly, I don't have any, which is crazy because I have a lot of crystals. But yeah, so just remember that your fears aren't always what you think they are. How can you go deeper into them and question what they really are and where they really stem from, and do shadow work on that? You know, go into where that fear started and ask yourself why, and comfort yourself in that moment. Why am I fearful of this? And what does that fear look like in my body? What color is it? What shape is it? What is it trying to tell me? What message does it have for me? And when was the first time I experienced it? And go into that experience in your mind and just comfort yourself through it. Like, whatever it is, validate yourself, comfort yourself, change the story a little bit. And I don't know, my daughter just handed me this Two of Spades card. So I don't know, maybe my first thought was like, find someone to help you through it, but maybe it's just you and God, you know. So on that note, have a great day, and I love you. Bye.